Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Eustace Pharmer. I'd like to introduce to you the FS UK Modding Mania 2018 challenge map, The Abandoned Forest, by my friend Daniel. Some of you may know him as Flatlander84. Some of you may know him as The Sim Station on YouTube. But no matter what name you know him under, I think a lot of you can agree on a few things about Daniel, and that is, he's a great guy, he makes great YouTube videos, and he makes awesome maps. This map just begs for a good story, and that's why I'm here today. He has found a way to integrate logging with farming where they both seem to naturally kind of coexist together. I've played on some logging maps where it just seems like they've put the obligatory farm in there just to make it part of Farming Simulator, but this all seems to be naturally cohesive. There's so many beautiful elements, and this map just has a heavenly, godly beauty to it and a peaceful serenity about it. There's a large ice river that melts in the warm weather, and you get the beautiful water, plenty of snow, rickety old bridges, old outbuildings, all kinds of really neat stuff. And then there's a lot of instances where I will edit the maps to accommodate whatever I want to say in that story. So I may need to add buildings or change a little bit of terrain or, do something different with it. And it's not because the map is not good otherwise, it's because I just needed to work with my story. So that's why I do it. And just in case you still don't think that farming belongs on a map like that, I've got a story for you here today to kind of put it all into perspective. So without further ado, let's get into our story on the Abandoned Forest map. I hope you enjoy.
Experience magical fun and adventure by entering the simulated world of Eustace Pharmer, bringing reality into the virtual reality. Your journey begins here and right now.
Hello, everybody. I'm Archie Applebee, and I work for the United States Forestry Service. I'm a ranger here in Katchacold, Colorado. And we have had record snowfall this season, so much so that we're having trouble keeping up with it. We've had several feet over the norm. So that puts us in a very unique situation here. One of our tasks is to keep the access road through the mountains clear for the Chesapeake Bay Railway. God forbid if there's ever an accident or something happens to the train, workmen have vehicles where they can ride down the tracks, but they also need access to the train from the roads adjacent to the tracks. So our helicopter was out earlier today and came back surveying the area, and we're going to have to clear that road out, but we can't do it with conventional plows because it's pretty much most of it is unpaved, and the snow is just too deep. We've tried with our snow blowers and all that, and it's just not working out. So we've enlisted the help of the U.S. military, and they are bringing us a special salt chemical that they use in situations like this or emergent situations, and pretty much you spray it out and it melts the snow almost instantly. They won't tell us what the composition of this is, but they say it is not harmful to the environment. So I'm going to have to take their word for it on that. And they're going to bring us out a load of that, but we have to get the helicopter down to the landing point to go and pick it up because they can't get their truck up this mountain road here to the ranger station. I've actually had to climb out the back window here because the doors are all snowed in. We got to get this cleared out. I spent the night up here, and we've got this accumulation just overnight. So, but the most important thing we have to do is we have to get this landing pad over here cleared out so the helicopter can roll out and take off. So that's going to be one heck of a job. This snowblower really hasn't been too effective, but we're going to have to do the best we can with it. And then this snow track here is what we're going to be using to navigate the mountain pass and spread that chemical down with this Bradle spreader here. So another thing we have to do while we're up that way is we have to check on a gentleman, Carl, who lives off the grid up there. We flew over the farm/logging camp, and it doesn't look like there's any lights on and not much activity. And when I say lights on, I mean you don't see his lanterns, burning in the windows, or no footsteps in the snow, so we're getting a little concerned. Now, I will admit, this gentleman, he's not the nicest guy in the world, and he's pretty much downright inhospitable. We've had to arrest him a couple of times because we've gone up to check on him or the neighboring area, and he's come out with his shotgun and shooting at us. So, I mean, he doesn't use buckshot or anything like that. It's pretty much assault pellets, but nevertheless, you can't be shooting at people up there with salt even, because there's hikers that come up through there, and it's just, obviously a public hazard. So the interesting thing about Carl is the farm is very, very old, and it's very remote. So back in the days when the area was settled, the farm was pretty much created out of necessity because they had to live off the land up there, his ancestors. But to make a living these days out of agriculture up there, and I think he's got like 5 fields or something like that, it's just not going to happen. Over the past 20 years, Carl decided all the trees in the area that he was going to start a little forestry business. And he was approached by some legitimate logging companies, and he decided that he's not going to accept their pittance for logging rights up there, so he was going to do it himself. The problem is he's such a mean old cuss that he couldn't keep anybody employed up there. And pretty much over time, everybody walked off the job and wanted nothing to do with him. And he just doesn't have the money or the means necessary to really properly get the lumber down off of the mountain. I mean, he had people out there with chainsaws and hand hatchets chopping down trees and then pulling the logs out with horses. So not exactly the best setup. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and continue clearing out this mess, and I'll be back with you once we get the helicopter fired up and we can get down off this mountain to go meet the military personnel.
Copy, Katchacold Tower, departing southwest. Cleared for takeoff.
All right, I'm going to get this machinery unloaded and wait for that salt truck. right, thank the Lord. Get these unhooked for him. All right, first order of business here is we got to get the rest of this yard cleaned off here and get down the road here because we got to get out. If it wasn't for the cement barriers there, we wouldn't even know where the road was. And it's a bit of a steep drop down there. You'll pretty much bounce and tumble down the mountain and land in the lumber yard. This spreading unit here seems to be very efficient. It doesn't spend a lot of the chemical, it's just what it needs. So I guess it's got an electronic meter. So a little bit goes a long way, and they assure me that one load of this will get me up that trail. So I hope so, because I can't bring a second unit because we need the winch on the back in case we get stuck. And sometimes you get fallen trees and all that stuff along the trail, and we'll have to hook up the tree and pull it off the trail if that happens. Okay, everybody, So I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. I don't want the episodes to get on too long. In the next episode, we'll head up that treacherous mountain pass and get that cleared and see what else we discover while we're there. So I hope you'll be joining me, and I am going to go inside and have a nice hot cup of coffee before we get started. So thanks for stopping in. This has been Eustace Pharmer, and I'd like to thank you very much for tuning in. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and tap that alert bell. Also, there's a thumbs up button right under your screen. Please tap that so I know you enjoyed the video. If you didn't like the video, there's another button. Feel free to tap that one if you're a big poop head. Until we meet again, take great care of yourself, okay? And bye for now.